We were locked down. One of these animals attacked the lieutenant, so they locked the whole place down.
Oh
Took
my.
all our stuff. It was a nightmare. Yeah.
You guys have never been locked down that long, have you?
No, not since I've been talking to you here. Not since we came out last time. No. But if you attack a guard, they take it seriously.
Well, I freaked
And
out because it all happened after the New York Times thing came out.
yeah, no, I'm okay. We just
Okay.
came out. I've been
Okay.
waiting online now to call you. So apparently, though, my counselor, everybody's like, "You're all over the news."
My fear is that media is going to sidesweep your story. And I'm trying to really relay that there's two major stories here. It's yes, it's what you know about Jeffrey Epstein, but it's also what is on this hard drive and what you're fighting to have,
Right.
exposed. So what do you think? What do you know about the coverage so far? I mean, you are on everything, like every
I
outlet.
just know. I just know from people telling me what they heard that they some stations or news programs are saying that there was a person seen walking up the hallway that night or whatever. And again, maybe there was somebody in that hallway. It was probably an orderly because, like I said, the room that they're showing in the post and everything was not the room he was in. It was the room he used to be in, the room he was in with me. The room he killed himself was on a different floor. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. He is not in Israel. He's not. He's dead. The reason I can say this with such certainty is because I'm the one who did chest compressions on him and breathing into him to get him to come back the first time he tried to hang himself. Okay, and once he was alone, he did it again. I was the one who kept him from killing himself the first time.
It's everyone's focused now on the suicide note, which I reported a year ago. Um, I've been begging people to acknowledge there was a suicide note because it's definitely, you know, has an effect on that narrative that he was murdered. I mean, what did that suicide note look like? What do you remember?
It was on yellow legal paper because I had a few legal pads in the cell with me. I was, trying to prepare for trial, and Epstein took a page, ripped a page out of that pad, and wrote it on it. From what I remember, it wasn't a big long goodbye. It was just a few lines. It was basically, it said that the feds investigated him for 14 months, 16 months, something like that. And I remember he said, found nothing. And he wrote, I think he underlined, found nothing. Then he wrote, what do you want me to do? Bust out crying. And then he wrote, time to say goodbye.
Someone come and confirm that it was not your handwriting, right? Where's the note now? Did it end up with the judge? I know you passed it to
But
your lawyer.
here's what's frustrating. This is the same judge that said white pants changed color while they were in the grave. This judge ordered my personal attorney, John Weider, to bring the suicide note in and give it to him. And then from there, as far as I knew, that was the last, was with him. But Judge Karras in that court allowed everyone to call me the killer cop, to say I killed Epstein and I beat up Epstein. My jury went to the trial thinking that I was a thug. Okay, and I mean, besides all the evidence that you've seen and everything that shows I didn't do this, even that, like Comey allowed that narrative to stand for years, like up till now. This was what 2019.
And that's why I think even people like Joe Rogan still believe that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I'm asking people to please look at my evidence. Look at my damn evidence. I mean, maybe they're afraid that because what I said helps Trump. I'm not trying to help Trump, really. I'm trying to help myself. Trump is just a byproduct of this, actually. I mean, Epstein told me out of his own mouth that he did not hang out with Trump, that Trump threw him out of a party. I told you about him, about Epstein getting thrown out of that party before it was anywhere else.
And Trump was not president when you were telling me
Correct.
the story. So it hasn't changed at all just because the dynamics have changed.
Right. And I told you then too, Maureen Comey was my prosecutor, and her father, James Comey, was head of the FBI when I was arrested. All right, James Comey was head of the FBI when all these videos were deleted and phones were taken out of evidence and everything else. James Comey showed up at my trial 2 days before the trial ended, just when it was going to the jury. Wasn't there the whole rest of the time. Doesn't live in New York, but he decided to show up right when it's going to the jury. The man's 6'8". He's hard to miss. Okay, when he came in, it was like a celebrity coming into the room.
Yeah.
Okay,
It,
he's very crooked. The seashells. Forget the seashells. If people see the evidence and what he either did or allowed done on my case, then he'll go to prison for real. The seashells don't have anything on the evidence that I have.
This call is from a federal prison.
what is the feedback from the New York Times piece so far? Who are you hearing from?
I haven't. I've been locked down. You're the first person
Okay.
in the outside world that I'm speaking to. I have
Well,
no idea what's going on.
I have other interviews booked this week where I will be reminding media that beyond the suicide note and beyond what Jeffrey Epstein told you, there's a whole nother story here.
Oh, great. Thank you. That's the thing. I'm not asking anybody to take my word for it, okay? Everyone for the last, 9 years have heard that I'm a killer, that I'm this thug, I'm this thing. I was running an animal rescue farm, okay? I'm not that at all. And I have the evidence that shows it. It doesn't just hint that I'm innocent. It proves I'm innocent. And, if the government, the existing government, wants to show how corrupt James Comey is, just take a look at my hard drive, and we can show it. Him and his daughter both. They should both be wearing orange jumpsuits.
When I was the interview I did this morning, the interviewer asked, how essentially how have you slipped through the cracks? How has no one taken this seriously if all of the evidence you have actually aids the administration and confirms that Epstein was suicidal and that he, did kill himself? And I was like, that's a good question. I told him, I don't know why you've been overlooked when you're a critical part of the whole story. I'm hoping that's going to change now that we have all the eyes on you and that people are hearing you.
Yeah,
Because
me
like I
too.
said, we've been doing this for 2 years, nonstop
Yep,
audio. You're on here all the time.
me too. And even now, all this came out because I went against what my first attorney told me, was to not speak to anybody, to keep it quiet, and I did that. I stayed quiet for years and years, and it got me nowhere. I'm not staying quiet anymore.
So that's part of it
I
too. That was legal advice for you to shut up
Yes,
and just,
yes, and my first lawyer, Bruce Bartett, was horrible. All this evidence. I mean, if he knew about it, then that hints at some pretty atrocious things. If he didn't know about it, then it just shows he was lazy and didn't bother to go through the discovery. But it's there. It's there, and it's really hard to miss. If you see it now, you'll see what they did to me. They let cartel members go free, and then gave their family permanent residence in this country in order to keep the narrative that I did this. And like I said, thank God I found it all. Thank God I was able to get it all off that laptop. Otherwise, I would have died in here.
yeah. And I have that here. I just did a video showing the hard drive. I mean, just the actual hard drive. But like I've said, I've invited countless media to come look at the hard drive to discuss the hard drive and your evidence. Let's just hope that it gets, picked up now, that there's
Yeah,
national interest. But it would be smart to bring you in and interview you on all the things you know and all the
I
things that
think.
Epstein told
I
you.
mean, what's funny is I wonder how much the New York Times. I spoke to them for a few hours and told them a lot about the evidence. Asked them to read the Rule 33, which cites all the evidence. I wonder how much of that they actually put in the article. Or did they, or did the New York Times just ignore everything just so they can, paint whatever picture they want to paint? You've got an innocent cop in prison while cartel members who confess to this, they confess to it, are free, and their families given citizenship in this country. That to me is a bigger a much bigger story than Epstein. Epstein was a very rich pedophile who I think realized he was caught and decided to pack it in. It's that simple. There's no smoking gun there. The man killed himself. And I'll take a polygraph. I'll do whatever they want. The man didn't escape. The man killed himself.
Well, I think, Nick, if we can, I'm hoping the New York Times, I believe they sent a letter. They're requesting a lot of unsealing of your trials, information about your trial as well as the suicide note. And maybe if they can get this note, a hard copy of the note, we can, open up conversation about what you know and what you believe and what you witnessed as
Right.
Epstein, as you resuscitated him at a first attempt. You were there, the morning that you heard all of it, the morning they found him
Right. Right.
unresponsive. So I think it's all going to be good. I think the timing now is on your side, and I'm going to keep talking to media this week to make sure that your story doesn't get
Excellent.
swept under. And the fact that, like, the lead investigator is put on leave for caught trying to frame a guy, another guy.
This call is from a federal prison.
You have a really strong case. Let's just hope media
Yeah.
picks it up.
I hope so.
Do you want to call me back? Like, you can call me back in a couple hours. I'm gonna work on some
I'll
edits.
try because we just got out. The lines are super long. We're
All
gonna
right.
get
Well, if
locked in
not,
at 3 o'clock, but I'll try. I'll try to call you back.
well, if you can't, I'll be around all this weekend too.
Okay. If not, I'll call you
I'll
tomorrow.
catch,
Definitely.
I'll go through all the articles, and then when I talk to you, I'll catch you up on everything.
Thank you, Jess. Okay.
All right. Bye, Nick.
I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.